Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited because at the cafe, guys, it is tea time. You guys know what that's all about. We will have an hour long of book discussion with author Sheryl Lister. First of all, y'all already know that's one of our favorite reads of 2024. No reservations. And we also will be hanging out with Mama Tony of Mama Tony's Book Nook as well to talk about one of our favorite reads with one of our favorite authors, No Reservations. Oh my goodness, guys. Chime in. Let us know where you are tuning in from, hanging out with us on today. And of course, y'all know how we do it for tea time. We're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to tell you what we're wearing today and tell you what we are drinking here at the cafe on today. We're going to start with Mama Tony of Mama Tony's Book Nook. Mama Tony, introduce yourself. Let us know what's in your teacup today, all that good stuff, and then we'll get to Sheryl.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mama Tony of Mama Tony's Book Nook. Today has been a truly literary event for me. Today, I just bounced back in the house from a literary event at the local Best Western Hotel, where I met two new authors, got 4 more new books. Like I needed some more books. Okay. And like Angela said, No Reservation is in my top 10 reads. There are 2 books right now that are in my top 10 reads for 2020, for the first quarter of 2024. And No Reservations is definitely one of them. I was drinking water, but I left it up there. But I'm going to holler at Gerald and tell him to bring me a cup with some ice in it.
Oh, see, happy hour, huh?
It's happy hour. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Sheryl,
Okay.
look, Sheryl, Mama Tony said it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's
Okay.
and
But you know what? You close, Mama Tony. You close. You close. It's only a couple hours. Happy hour starts at 3, so you good.
I'm good. It's 3:08 p.m. Eastern
That's what
Standard
I'm
Time.
saying. That's
It's
what I'm saying.
still 8.
It is 3:08 p.m. Eastern
Oh my
Standard Time.
goodness, I love it. I love it.
Oh my God.
And
And look, we have Caitlin hanging out with us today, and she said she is hanging out with us from Michigan, and she's drinking her
Well,
favorite
hey, Caitlin.
hazelnut latte in her favorite
Caitlin,
tumbler from Grand Valley State University. I love it. I love it. We have Helen
Hi,
hanging out
Helen.
with us on today as well. And of course, guys, if you haven't done so already, like, tag, and share. You know what to do. Tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we're talking with author Sheryl Lister, special guest Mama Tony's of Mama Tony's Book Nook, talking about No Reservations. All right, author Sheryl Lister, it's your turn, my friend. Introduce yourself to the people and let us know what's on
Hi.
your drink choice for today.
I'm Cheryl Lister. If you don't know me already, I write sweet, sensual, contemporary romance, some romantic suspense thrown in there, and now some women's fiction. And let's see, today I do have on my shirt, you know, we got to bling, got to brag, got to wearing our
Love
logo
that.
shirt.
Her author
And
shirt.
since it is only noon for Cheryl over here, she don't have wine. It's not tea time. So we just with boring water today.
Look, water is okay. Look, water is always
Yeah,
the neutral ground,
water
okay?
is always good. We got to
Water is
hydrate.
always
Keep you
good.
hydrated.
Look, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. I love it. I love it. And of course, guys, I'm your host, Angela Anderson. On today, I'm rocking my brand t-shirt, Angela Anderson Presents. And of course, y'all know I have one of my favorite mugs by Lady Linus Handmade, aka Joy Avery, author Joy Avery. It says, just a girl who loves books and tea. That is totally
Mm.
me. And I am drinking hot lemon tea on today. And guys,
Oh.
trust me, we will be spilling some tea about No Reservations on today. So, Mama Tony, I know you ready. Cause see, Sheryl, see, like on these literary streets, you have your peeps. And so, some of the peeps, we don't had conversations. I mean,
I
I'm I'm,
know.
I'm matching the cover with my little orange hat on. So we don't had like in the streets conversations about No Reservations.
Look, I was like, I don't know what that sounds a little. Ooh, okay. Let's see what
That's a
y'all.
good
Look, tell me
thing.
what. Look, spill the
It's a
tea.
good thing when the streets be talking.
Yes, exactly. Spill the tea,
Because
girl. Tell me
Cheryl,
what the
when the
streets are
streets be
saying.
talking, we be telling a friend to tell a friend
Thank you.
to read
I
it.
appreciate that.
I love it. I love it. Well, one thing that I want before we get into the book, you mentioned it, and I know, and Mama Tony, I'll let you let you speak to this as well. I just want to let you know I am super duper proud of you. I know with me being a women's fiction fan, or what have you, when I read it, I was like, debut who? I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, you did an amazing job for this to be your debut women's fiction book. So
I
we are super
appreciate
duper
that.
excited for you.
Thank you.
Kudos. It is definitely one of those stories, and I know we're going to talk about it today, but it's one of those stories that is definitely all the feels. And you actually write it in a way that we feel invested in those three friends. Let me tell you, it is something about their sisterhood friendship that they have. And even with our friend Yvette, who, you know, she starts it in a prologue, or what have you, but even her presence is felt throughout the book as well. Mama Tony, I'll let you kind of, you know, give a little insight on her debut um women's fiction and what you felt when you read it as well.
You know, even though they said it was a debut women's fiction, and I had read all of Cheryl's books before, Cheryl has always teetered. You know that she's always been on that seesaw with women fiction. Even in her other books, you got little snippets if you really read them and read them in depth. So I didn't look at it as a debut model. I just looked at it, okay, she's finally decided, okay, I'm gonna take the seesaw all the way up, get on the slide, and come all the way down with this women's fiction. And that's what she did from the prologue to page 200 and whatever, 300 or whatever it was at the end. She covered everything. She left no one out. She didn't shortchange
No.
anyone. And sometimes you read a book and some of the secondary characters, you feel like maybe they should have had another paragraph or at least one more scene. She didn't shortchange anyone, not even the children. Not even the
Not
children was
even the children.
not even the children were shortchanged in this book. Everybody had a full dialogue that was understood and it came in at just the right place, at just the right time, just when it was needed. From the opening scene to tears, to the closing scene to tears, to the husband realizing that there is another life for me, even though I've lost the love of my life. I just, because not only do I have a chance to maybe find love again, but my wife left me with a child and three sisters.
Mm,
And so
Yes.
that
Yes.
that's my take. You know, that's it. There was no
And
stone
Cheryl,
left
for
unturned.
you, I definitely agree with that, Mama Tony. And for you, Cheryl, tell us a little bit about what that was like for you, because I know you share it with a lot of your fans. You know, you're like, it's a little different, you know, it's a little different,
mhm,
or what
mhm.
have you. But let me just tell you, we were so here for it. But what was that like for you, as an author, to be able to let your amazing writing skills and pen go with this story, No Reservations?
I think the goal always as a writer is to continue to grow. That well, that's the hope, is that my first book, even though it's a good book, that you, as I keep writing over the years, that you'll see a little bit more growth, a little bit more depth, like you taking more risks. I think that's what it is taking more risks in your writing and pushing the envelope a little bit further, instead of staying in the same small, comfortable box, which it is real easy to just stay in that box. Don't do anything outside of there. So this was just such a challenge, in a good way. It was a frustrating way too, but it was a really good challenge to broaden and to just step into another space in the literary world. And so I really enjoyed writing this story with these ladies, because but then all the time it's not always this kudos with friendships and sisterhoods. There's all Sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Hmm.
That there's drama, there's some little push and pull, and you have to grow to those kind of relationships. But these ladies had it all from day one. So it was just nice exploring
I
those
love that.
friendships.
Go ahead.
And they had
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
drama and the push and pull, even with that friendship. But even with the push and pull and the drama, there was always uh, a sensible person. In other words, if two of them were added, that was that one person that would bring them together and said, "Look, this isn't what we about. We need to come here." And then if
Mhm,
all three of them was added, that voice from beyond,
mhm,
which was their friend who had left them all instructions And at the right time, when things were at an upheaval for them, one or all three of them heard her voice.
Mm-hmm.
One or
Mm-hmm.
all three of them heard her say to them, uh, okay, let's back up and look. So there was always a common, even though there were times when feathers were ruffled.
Yeah, yeah. And if you think about it in life, that actually is how it is in our lives, that if there's someone that we've lost, or whatever, that when we're struggling, we're stressed out, some memory, some word that they had spoken into our lives previously seems to come back just when we need it, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mhm.
And so I always think that's a good thing, because I think about that my mom, because when I'm struggling, sometimes I hear my mom's voice in my head telling me, that encouragement that she's always given me, So it was, that dynamic is always present.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And guys, if you are just joining us, we are hanging out with author Sheryl Lister. And of course, we are super fan girling right now to be able to hang out with her and to talk about No Reservations. I know for me, before we kind of get into the story, and Mama Tony can kind of share this, her what her thing was. But guys, it was one of those books that yeah, it definitely was one of those books that kind of like grabbed you and kept your attention, and I didn't want it to end. But it was one of those books that, like, halfway in, I was like, oh, it's 5 stars. And I don't, a book has to, it has to take me there where, like, I'm like supposed to be doing other stuff, but I can't get away from the book, or I'm doing other stuff, but I'm thinking about the characters, like they in my everything that I do, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go back and see what they're doing. Like the characters are
Yeah.
talking to me. Like, I need to know what they're doing. And with these friendships, the things that they went through, oh my goodness. And that's where I want to start. I want to start with that prologue, y'all, because let me just tell you, Sheryl hits us with a headliner in the prologue. Okay, so she grabbed, like Mama Tony said, there may be a little tears, all this good stuff. But even then, you find out about, this friendship, of this sisterhood, with their friend Yvette. And this is kind of like not a spoiler, but Yvette has cancer, and so of course Yvette loses the battle with cancer, and it takes it from there. But I love the way that this story started off, because not only did Sheryl give us a connection to, Diane and Rochelle and Joy, she also gave us that connection with Yvette, as well as Yvette's husband Joe, as well. Mama Tony, what was your impression when you read that prologue?
I had to take a deep breath
Mm-hmm.
because I've been in a room when you know that person
Mm-hmm.
is going to take that every breath that they're taking may be their last.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched it, so my heart went out to
Mm.
Joy and Diane and Rochelle, and to her husband, because that's not an easy thing.
It's not.
They need your support, so you need to stand there, stand firm with them. But
Mhm.
by the same token, you break it in half.
Mm-hmm.
It takes every ounce of strength that you can rape, scrape, steal, and borrow and beg to be able to stand there.
Yeah.
And they say to you, I'm okay, don't cry. But you're saying, I can't hold back these tears. So
Exactly.
you're fighting. You're battling. You're battling with self, trying to be strong for them. But by the same token, you battling wanting to give them their last wish, because this statement that they made right here may be the last statement that they'll make, or the
Yeah.
last time you hear their voice.
Yeah.
So when I finished reading this prologue, I was literally in tears. I just had to put the book down and wait a few minutes. Yeah, I went and got a drink and got myself together to come back and read it, because I I stood next to my mom's bed and saw her do and make the same transition
Mm.
that she made in front of her friends, with my siblings, and my mama saying, I'm gonna be all right, don't y'all cry. And we fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean physical fighting, but I mean fighting within,
Internally, yeah.
fighting
Emotionally.
internally, emotionally, to keep from breaking down, because mama said, don't cry. And that's the way her friends and her husband were. They were battling emotionally with themselves and each other because she asked them to be strong, to not cry, to not cry. Uh,
Kimmy. Kimmy says you took a few minutes.
Mama
She took a
Tony,
few
Kimmy
days.
talking about you took a few minutes. She had to take a couple of days.
Kimmy.
okay, Kevin. But it was very emotional. Uh, if you've ever seen, I always say, if you've ever seen Imitation of Life, the original, and didn't shed a tear, is something wrong with you. If you read this prologue and didn't feel some kind of emotion, it's something wrong with you. That's the only way I can put it. That's the only way I know to put
And
it.
Sheryl, I also like how, like Mama Tony was saying, like with this prologue, I definitely enjoyed how she took them a moment with each one of them. Like, she
Mhm.
had a moment with each one of them. And even throughout the story, they can kind of remember what her special words
Mm-hmm.
were to them
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
continue to live their life, or what have you. And I love how they all just, it was like Joe was like their brother, so
yeah.
even
He was.
after
He was the
Yvette
big
had
He
passed
was
brother.
on,
their big brother.
they was there.
Mhm.
They was there for Joe. Yes, they was there for Joe, and they was there for them babies. But I also like how with all of the sister friends, guys, you got Joy, you have Rochelle, and you have Diane. Um, it's almost like you got three stories in one, because Sheryl, you did your thing in giving each one of their stories and what they had
Mm-hmm.
going on, but it was
Yeah.
well balanced. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
because I mean, these sisters, the thing that I loved about it too is that they was there through the thick and thin. It was like, okay, oh, you need me to go get the Vaseline and take my earrings,
Yeah.
whatever it was that they was
Yeah.
going through, they was there. And they
Yeah.
even those vulnerable moments where they was like, okay, we, our sister need our time. There's some things that happen, guys, where each one of them may have needed more of each other's time, and they was
Mm-hmm.
right there on it, even with their group
Mm-hmm.
text messages, all of that stuff, as well. But let's talk about Joy's situation a little bit first. We'll kind of dabble a little bit, and Mama Tony, you can jump in, and we can take the
Listen,
conversation where we
so
need to take it.
I can just tell
But
you right
before
now,
we get
Mama
into that,
Tony's
guys,
gonna
I want
leave
to say thank
somebody
you again
nameless
for
up in this
joining.
situation.
Yeah. Joy has a no-name partner.
Yeah, she has a
Yes,
no name, so we're not mentioning his
He,
name
he named no
because
name.
Mama Tony's.
He been no name since the first paragraph. Okay,
She
that I
said
read.
that.
No name.
see,
He, him shall remain nameless.
Him. Yeah, she says that every time.
Mama Tony, can we at least say the RT person? Can we say RT?
If you have to say something,
See, y'all,
you
what
let
Mama
the other
talking,
people.
Mama Tony talk. See, even when I say his name, I have to.
I know, right?
If
I
you have to
mean,
say something, they have the other people
Mama Tony,
understand. Go
whenever
ahead.
I say it, I just have to be like, I be like Robert.
I say no name and keep on
Yeah,
going.
so we talking about look, we're talking about Robert. Okay, and I have to just say it a certain way. I can't even say you just have to be like Robert. Okay, Robert. Okay, now I don't said it enough, so now
Stupid,
y'all know who we
stupid,
talking about.
stupid.
Okay,
but if you think
or
about
what
it,
have
in
you. But
life,
yeah,
we have
Joy
a few of those around.
and
There
this
are a few.
person, Robert.
Yes.
Mhm, 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 mhm. And Sheryl, I'm glad that you said that, because that was one of the things that I thought about. I said, Sheryl wrote these characters. Y'all, when I say it's real and it's raw, I mean, you have people who is actually going through some of the things that they are going through in this book, no reservations. And the even title is, it's like it's a play on words. I mean, yes, they got this
Yeah,
Jamaica trip that they need to and make reservations for that, but it's also for them sometimes like gaining back who they are as an
right.
individual, and
Mhm.
having no reservations about it. It's so many things that you can take that no reservations for. And I know throughout, I enjoy watching all of their journeys too, but I enjoyed watching Joy's her journey, because can you imagine, you've it's been years you're wrapped up in this person, y'all have been married for such amount of time or what
Right.
have you, but to come to the realization that this joker is I mean, oh, Sheryl, when we get to the part where he can't even tell her I'm like, when she throw that wine glass though, his attention. But
It sure did. It sure
anyway,
did.
But you
so
knew he
Mama
was a
Tony,
butthole.
what was your take on that relationship with Joy and Robert and her and the way that she developed throughout the story?
You knew something was wrong with him, and in the second paragraph, when they finished talking to the real estate agent, and the real estate agent said, "The pleasure's all mine, Mrs. West." Mr. Kelly shook her hand. Then Robert, I'll call you on Monday to get on the schedule. It was always something funny because they were supposed to be in business together.
Right.
It was a husband and wife business. So why are you just gonna get on the schedule with him when I do certain things? So I knew at that point he was up to no good. And that's the third paragraph in the book. That's the third paragraph in George's first page. In George's first
Oh.
page, I knew for then. And then he gave himself away. He said, he grinned and said, "I'll walk you out." Because he got to say something because he don't want her to know. He don't want Joy to know. So he was up to no good from the get-go.
Look, so Sherry, it sounds like Mama Tony was side-eyeing him
She was
early.
side high. Well, I mean, even if you don't side eye him there, which there actually wasn't anything nefarious going on with this particular client, but you could side eye him a couple paragraphs down when she goes into the office and she invites him to dinner. Let's hang out. She gives him this specially. She created a whole little invitation. To invite. To have a date night.
Right.
And
So
he said, "I can't," and then tossed the card aside. Y'all would have been coming picking Gerald about the floor, okay? I didn't call y'all.
listen, I'm about to go see Mr. Gerald and be like, "Don't worry about it. It's so good." She's not gonna do it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, not only does he
And
tear
it
me
was like
down,
she was
he throw
really
the darn card on the floor. Oh, hell to the no.
Look,
Uh-uh.
he tossed it aside because he
but
was
she was really trying. She
right.
really wanted to
Yes.
try with her husband. And I think one of the things that, because for those that are married or that you are in a committed relationship, or you, especially if you've been, you got some years in, or
Yeah.
what have you, it was also like she was continually to repeatedly feel rejected. It's like not only was she feeling rejected by him, but then, guys, think about when you are in a relationship with someone, they're usually like the first person you tell your dreams to, all this stuff.
Exactly.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's like the number one person you want to make sure have your back. And it was like she won't get that for him, but yet and still, when it was about the business that, like Mama Tony said, that was supposed to have been their family business, or a business that they was in joint together, he was all gone home. It was all about self. But as soon as she
Hmm.
was like, okay, I'm ready to, to branch
It's my
out,
turn.
this
Hmm.
Joker done, as they say, he started to show his true colors.
Yeah, he did.
Right,
He
right,
did. But there's
but
always
LaShawn
redemption
said,
because
but
you have no
she kept her
idea
cool. I think
initially, is he
are
gonna
you
get it
talking about Joy
together or no?
as well?
We didn't hear you, Angela.
Right. Look, but one thing I love about Joy, when she did need to make a statement, oh, she made it loud and clear. Like I said,
She
like when
did.
she threw that, and we heard, like I said, when she threw that wine glass, it got his attention because he was like, oh,
She upset now for real, huh? But with her personality, because she's kind of like the most outgoing of the group, and so you would expect, because she suffers
Yeah.
no fools, and you know that right off the
Mhm.
bat that she's not the one for play
right,
really. So every all of
right.
those actions fit her personality because you wouldn't expect Rochelle to do the same thing.
No.
Diane might roll that way a little bit because she's sort of in the middle there, but Joy is the one to be like, okay, no, we will earrings, Vaseline, let's go.
Mhm.
And even
Now, and
down
Cheryl,
further.
and Mama Tony definitely chime in. One of the things with Joy, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, even down further, he look how long he ignored her. And the more she tried to reach out to him as her husband, as just her partner, as her spouse, as everything, he continually ignored her. So somebody's questioning, well, how long you and your husband been together? How long you and your husband been partners? And they shocked at the number of years when she says, what, 10, 12 years
Yeah,
or what,
10, 15.
10, 10 12 years. And they're looking at the way he's treating her and the way he
Yeah.
was just, yeah, he was one of those, the A and the two S's all the whole, from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Even as you get on further in the story and he gets caught in his mess, he's still a butthole because he
Yeah.
thinks
Still acting like, what's the problem
what's the
here, huh?
problem? He's still acting like, okay, you'll be upset for a little while. No, I just walked into our office,
Right.
caught you in a compromising position with what's supposed to be our secretary,
Uh-huh.
and she looking like, and you saying, oh, it's nothing. Oh, hell no.
Yeah. I see at that point, I think it's when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
No, no, Mama Tony, even before it that part when she, oh, go ahead, Cheryl. Mm.
No, I just said, even though I said she was at the point of being sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get to that point is when you say, I'm done, you know?
Yeah. And she had reached that point.
Mm-hmm.
She had.
She had
Mm-hmm.
reached the point where my grandmother used to
Look,
say,
because even a little bit before that, uh-huh. Go ahead.
you cut for some reason you cutting in and out, Angela. So you missing something. But I was just going to say that
Okay,
she was at the point where my grandmama used to say, stick a fork in it, it's done.
Exactly.
He was done.
Mm-hmm.
done. Mm-hmm. 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 And I know, and I know sometimes people, maybe not necessarily like with a marriage, but yeah, it's sometimes when what's that look when a woman's fed up.
Yes.
When we get to a certain point, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm done with this. And when we wipe our hands, oh
It's
yeah,
wiped.
it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. And I was gonna say, I know Mama Tony mentioned when she caught him, but even before that, remember when she went to the office? Remember she had took a couple of days off from work. Well, she was working from home, but remember when she had to meet him? That's what it was. She had to meet him at one of the sites. Remember they had to
Mm-hmm.
meet a client, and oh, are you done? Are you done with this foolishness?
Okay, she had
When
moved
you coming
out.
back home.
Yeah,
And she
she
was like,
Yeah.
left.
really? She was like, joking, she was like, you ain't even call to check on me to make sure I'm okay or what you mean?
Exactly.
I was like, wow. I
Yeah.
said, this he is a trip. you
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
to be like, hey, you good? Not even to find out where she was, just to see if she's okay. Because I mean, you remember she left. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
even make sure she got where she was going. I was like, wow, wow. And all of that, I think for her compile, she was really able to see his true colors. It's like, okay, why
Mm-hmm.
am I fighting a one person? It's like I'm the only one fighting for this because he ain't clearly.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. And at some point, you
So
get done
let's.
with that fight if it's taken too long. Because if you're the only one trying to make it work, then what's the use? Because it takes two. And a relationship everybody likes to say 50-50, but a relationship is 100-100. You have to be all in. Because if you have 50%, everybody doing 50%, you got half of nothing going on there. So everybody has to be
On both
100%
sides.
in on both sides. And
Yeah.
if you're not, then it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. 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 Guys, if you are just joining us, Sheryl Lister talking about her latest book, No Reservations. It is available in ebook. It's also available in print. We would definitely be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of it on today, hanging out with Mama Tony as well in this book discussion. And of course, if you guys have a question or two, put it in the comment section. Or if you have a comment, put that in the comment section as well. We like to have an interactive tea time for you guys. And we, of course, we got to talk about Diane in Jeffrey. And then Sheryl has
Angela.
this sweet little 7-year-old girl that you fall in love with. Go ahead, Sheryl.
I was gonna say, so right now the ebook, the sale for the ebook is $1.99, and they haven't changed the price yet. So if you want to run over to Amazon or any of or Barnes and Noble, wherever you like to get your books, the ebook is still $1.99 before they change that price. I know it is on Amazon, so if you want to grab it, you should get it before that price rolls back up.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, and you can actually do that right now. You can pull up your e-reader, you can pull up your phone or go to your computer and get you a copy of No Reservations on sale, the ebook copy for $1.99 as well. I love it. I love it. And Kimmy wanted to know, can they get paperback signed copies from you, Sheryl?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes.
So, and we'll make sure we put Cheryl's information in the comment section as well. We'll definitely do that. So if you guys want the paper book, is available where books are sold. Today is actually indie bookstore day as well, so you can support one of your local indie bookstores. You can support
Ooh,
Riches and
absolutely.
Reading, but any of the reservations. Mama Tony and Sheryl, let's switch gears and talk a little bit about Diane and another couple that, again, Sheryl is giving you like real life situations where people can really sympathize battle individually, because there was even moments with Jeffrey that he had some vulnerable moments that, when things hit the fan, it was like, oh, that's why he behaving the way he behaving. Because I know one time, Cheryl, I was like, all right, Jeffrey, I'm looking at you sideways now. But he redeemed
I know.
himself. He redeemed himself. That's all I can say. He redeemed himself. Look, he loved that baby.
Yeah. Kids have a way of
Look,
grabbing you
he
even when you
look
don't
when
want
they
to be
was at that
grabbed.
funeral, Cheryl. I said the cavalry has came. Yeah. Yes.
Jeffrey's problem was that he had his own baggage that he hadn't talked to anybody about. He
Right.
hadn't shared it with anybody, and he didn't know how to share it
Yeah.
because
Yes.
male pride is sometimes worse than death. And his male pride kept him from saying, this is why I feel this way, or this is why I'm acting this way, and no, I don't want this, and no, I don't want that, until he walked into that funeral.
Hmm. But I think he was already softening. If you think about it, he was always softening because she would just watch him and he'd see the interaction with how Tamiko and Diane were
Mhm.
together, and he knew that that's what he wanted. He still wanted it, but it's hard to hope for that when
He did.
when everything is all the things that are in
In your
between
head.
that
Mhm.
in your head. And if you think about it, men are always, not always, but most
Yeah.
of the time, the society tells men, keep it inside. You can't talk about, you don't want to be weak out here. You always have to
Yeah.
put on this strong front that they never can share their feelings and their emotions. And I think that, to me, it's you're more emotionally healthy
Mhm.
when you do. And it
Yeah.
takes a lot more strength to do that than to be considered
Mhm.
weak, because it's strength to talk about what's going on, even for anybody.
For anybody, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not easy to talk about your problems, even with that
Mhm.
closest friend of yours,
And it was
because
almost like he was.
you don't know how they're going to judge you, or you
Mm,
don't know what they're going to think, or what they're going to. And the last thing you want is for that person that you think you're closest to. is to say something negative about something that you already feeling negative about.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm. Mhm. And it was almost like he handled it the best way that he knew how, and it was to kind of like, like you said, either engulf himself into his work or to kind of like shut down, or what have you, because that was at the time, that's kind of like how he knew to kind of like deal with it, or what have you. But once he had that vulnerable moment, or what have you, he was like, he was like, okay, we can get through this or what have you. But it was rough. And I like what LaShawn said. She said that Jeffrey got himself together. She said Jeffrey got, hold on, I'm trying to pull it up because I really like what she said. She said Jeffrey got himself together after spending time with that little girl. He got to know her and love her, and then talking to his brothers, talking to his brothers as well. But yeah, he fell in love with her, and like Sheryl said, when he showed up at that funeral, I was like, and when he stepped in, I said, look at the cavalry, look at the cavalry stepping in,
Yeah.
or what have you. And I think for Diane, that she had a little, she was like, well, is that
Right, right.
my
She
man's
did. It was like, so
in
there he is. He's
There he
And
back.
I think for
is.
her, she
He's
even
back.
saw
He's
there
here
that there
for
was
me.
there was some hope. There was some hope.
There was. There was.
Yes, yes,
And then
yes.
children are
And
precocious.
and just like he was there, not only was he there for Diane, go ahead.
I just said children are precocious. And Tomiko rubbed off on him in her own way. She wasn't over the bird with it. Just the little things she said, like maybe he needs the ice cream too. Uh, you know, uh, just the look that she would give him. And
Look, or he
he's sad.
maybe
Why is he
maybe
sad?
he needs some cookies.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
but so she won him over simply by being who she was, that
Hmm.
child that wanted to give love and wanted love in return.
Hmm.
And she wanted, knowing now that her parents were gone, she just wanted to make sure that somebody was going to continue to love her. So she reached out to him in the only way a child
Mhm.
knew how. The
Yeah.
cookies. Why was he sad? Why was he frowning? Just
He
just
needs
the
some
little
cookies
things,
too.
just the little things. But each time she did one of those little things, it cracked the hole in
Hmm.
his. It softened his heart.
It does. It does. Children naturally can do that. They draw you. And if you, like you said, at that scene with the
Mhm.
funeral, because he came in and swooped in, like Superman and rescued her, for lack of a better term, then she was all in, like, yep, I'm gonna stay with him and we're gonna be over here. This is my spot from now on.
And she started clinging to him, not
Yeah.
clinging where she didn't want to be with, but clinging like, "Thank you." It
Right.
was,
This is my
this
protector.
is
This
this,
is what
this-
she was
I'm
missing.
safe. This is
Yeah,
this is my safe haven right here. Yes, I
exactly.
know I'm in this house. I know she loves me, but my safe
Yeah.
spot
Hmm.
is here. Is here with Jeffrey. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she cooked. Yeah, she's sitting in bed, but my safe spot,
Hmm.
you know, is here with him. Yeah, Cheryl, this was. I can't
And
wait.
Jeffrey, once he I think he realized that, Jeffrey definitely had her back. Think about when they had that moment where the social worker came back. And Cheryl, just know, okay, you was pulling at my heartstrings, because in my mind, I'm like, no, don't let her go with them crazy folks, or what have you.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
it's better if they with family. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But even after that, you remember how he called her friends? He called her friends over to,
Hmm.
to be with her or what have you, or what have you. But I think even for that, he was like, like we're gonna be okay. Like this is a tough moment, because even I think even he was hurt. Like, man, we gotta we
Yeah.
gotta let her
Yes,
go with these people,
Yeah.
you know, and knowing
Hmm.
that those people really didn't love her. They didn't even know her really. They didn't even know
Right.
her.
Had wanted nothing to do with her until they found out she could be a
Mama Tony,
cash
what was that like for you when you read that?
bag. I was like, the only thing that they're interested in
Which is sad.
is the money. The only
Yeah.
thing they wanted was the money that they was gonna give her. And having
Mhm.
come out of education, you see that so often where something happens to the caregiver, the parent, and then somebody who hasn't been around, now they found out, okay, this child is worth X number of dollars. So they come because they want that child's money. They don't care about the child. They don't care about the child's education. They don't care about the child's feelings. They don't realize that the child right now just needs to be loved.
Hmm.
All they see is this child can produce me some more dollars.
Right. Because at foster, with foster care, they give you a
Mhm.
certain stipend, monthly
Mm-hmm.
stipend. So if you looking for a little additional, money on the side that you don't have to work for, you know. So, but yeah, it's sad that there are people out there like that.
Like that, yes. Mm.
And Cheryl, for them, see, why did I know they was gonna cut up at the why did I know they was gonna cut up? And I said the nerve of her, especially when one of the aunts asked the little cute little baby, she gonna ask her, did they leave you the house? And then she asked Diane, well, how much you getting for? I was like, okay, see, see,
Ma'am,
see, really, you gonna cut up in here? You gonna cut up in
Yeah.
here in front of people?
that's how we have to
Look,
act up.
but the grandma but when the grandma stepped in,
Yes. Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes.
I said, Grandma, it's Bowdy Bowdy.
Yes. Yes. Grandma came with receipts and she was like, okay, go on and cut up if you want to, but I know the real deal.
Look, and Cheryl, we all want to know what them receipts were too, because whatever them receipts were, it hushed them right on up.
It did. It did. It did. But like you said, they try to get it back where they can, okay, you got receipts, but they still want to decide that they're going to step up as quote family to
Family.
take
Yeah.
her. And so it always, so they figured, okay, we still going to get the money one way or the other. So if we say that we're going to do it, they always try to place children with family members, if they are available. So but then we still get the happy ending with that because then they decide, you know what, never mind. Because you don't realize kids are cared. You have to take care of children. You can't just have you think, okay, that's good. I'm getting this, this few little
Right.
dollars,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still the care that you have to do. You got to get dress, clothes, school, homework. You got to do all that.
Mhm.
Yep.
And Cheryl and Mama Tony, we're gonna definitely talk about Rochelle in a minute, but I want to ask you, Cheryl, what was that like for you? Because again, as and Mama Tony can attest to this, with all three of their journeys and their stories, again, it's that real life raw when life be lifing, basically, and they
Yeah.
and the ironic part about it is they all had life and like at the same time, but they were still
Right.
equally there for each other. But for
Right.
you, what was that like in writing some of those, were there moments where you had to take a woosah, after you wrote some of those hard scenes, if for lack of a thing to say.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I did on some of them, but this journey with Tamiko and the family taking her, doing that, and then they're eventually getting her back, actually really happened to one of my family members,
Oh.
and yeah, so that's kind of where I got that from, and it kind of happened, near the holidays, near Christmas, and this person decided to step up after all this time, never been around, the whole nine, and then and they're like, okay, we have gifts. Well, you could just give them to me and I'll give them to her. But we don't want you to have any other contact with it. Right. So they wanted the gifts, but you can't contact and you can't
Wow.
tell them it's from you. And but they were the same thing happened. They were able to get her back.
Wow.
She was little. She was younger. She was younger. And it's such a joy to watch now that she's graduated from high school. And she could not have been placed with two better people for the love that she's gotten. So I love it's been a joy that they got once they got her back to see her blossom, and now she's graduating from high school and she's amazing, amazing young woman. So I love that happy piece of it.
Mm.
And Caitlin said that she needs to read this book. Caitlin, let me just tell you, you are in for a treat. We were just sharing that it actually is available on Kindle for $1.99. The ebook is available for $1.99 wherever ebooks are sold. So you may want
Hurry up and
to
grab
get
it
it
because the
there.
price was supposed to
But
change.
of
It could
course,
change anytime today.
It's worth every penny, Caitlin. Go get it.
because it was a limited time offer.
Yes.
It is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And of course, we got to talk a little bit about Rochelle.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Rochelle, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but Warren was book bay. And Warren was so patient. Because y'all think about how long he had been liking old Rochelle, but he was just patiently waiting,
Hey, he
Look,
had
Joe
Job's
kind of
patience
helped him
3
out a
times.
little bit though.
He had Job's patience 3 times over.
Exactly.
You don't have the patience of Job. He had Job's patience,
Oh my goodness. Look, and
but he was
I think we were
also
all rooting. Look, Mama told her we were all rooting for Warren. We were all rooting for him.
yeah. And he had a sensitive spot. Like I had early in my life an abusive relationship, and I know what it feels like to have somebody come at you and you don't know. So your immediate reaction is to jump.
Right.
It's to flinch. And most men will say, "Well, what's wrong with you? Why you acting like that?" But he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He immediately recognized that something else was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said to her,
Yeah.
"You never have to worry." And the next time he got ready to reach for her, he asked for permission.
Mm-hmm.
May I? You know,
Yeah.
which made her comfort level with him a lot easier to deal with, because she knew that whatever was going to happen, he wasn't going to hurt her, because he's asking, "Can I get this out? Can I reach up here and touch you? Can I get this?"
Yeah. Exactly.
And it made her feel better. And
And
he
it's
said,
like, like
"I'll
Mama Tony
wait."
was saying that he was patient, but yeah, and he actually helped to kind of like pull back the different layers, because she had, and rightfully so, she was guarded, because I mean that ex-husband of hers, he had did some
He
damage.
done a job on her.
So Joe was there, not Joe. Let me get my men right. Warren, back the layers. The other thing that I think also won her over is the sincerity of how he included her daughter as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was not only building a relationship with Rochelle, but he wanted to build a relationship with her daughter as well. I was like, oh, okay, Warren. And for those out there, the romance lovers, Sheryl give you a little bit of romance. She give you a little bit of swoon, because I had some little swoon. Y'all know I love a swoon, but she gave you some swoon worthy moments. She did give you romance in there as well, in Sheryl Lister fashion, as well. But yeah, one thing about Rochelle, I felt like she had a lot going on, like personally, of how she saw herself, just the different things that she had, from the way that her ex-husband, the way that he left and he did her. She had all these things that she was like, I mean, she had put like a steel wall, around her heart. It was just like, you know what? It's just about me and my daughter right now, But again, I really love the fact how, and even she would hear Yvette, like saying, don't give up on love, give one to people, So I don't know, Mama Tony, what was your take on that? And her finally, allowing love in, or taking a chance on love again.
I think that she wanted to, but there was a fear because of the ex-husband. She wanted to be happy like her friends. She wanted to have what they had before she died, but because of her fear, she was afraid, and she pushed everybody away. And her thought was, I think her thought process was, I'm not good enough. Nobody's there for me. Because when she would push away, they stay away.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody except Warren. He didn't, she pushed him away. He moved, but he didn't leave, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He was always there. He, you know, the other guys wouldn't come back to a function because they didn't want to be bothered. But Warren continued to come back. He was always a part of the group. He was always a part of whatever they were doing together as a unit. And he always made sure that he spoke to her. He always made sure that she had a drink. He always made
Mm-hmm.
sure that she got something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Would walk her out, and even though she was going to drive her own self home, he didn't let her walk out the door by herself. He walked her to her car to make sure she got, so he stayed there and just waited and bided his time until she finally said, "Yes, I'll go."
Mm-hmm.
And he went on that, and they went on that first date. He just stayed there. He was like what do you call it? Like, it's a bad penny keep turning up.
Yeah.
Okay. But he wasn't a bad, he was a good dime. And he said, I'm gonna
Okay, a good dime. I like that.
he was a good dime. And he said, I'm gonna stay here until because this is what I want. Yes, I know she comes with a child, but this is what I want. So I'm gonna stay here. So he just kept flipping that dime over and over and over and over again until she got him to go out. So he got her to say yes to go out with him. And then once they went out together and they had that incident, he backed away to the point where he says, I won't crowd you.
And I know
I won't crowd you. And that's when he would
and
ask,
I
can
definitely
I
want to
do this?
share what LaShawn said, because yes, that is so true. She said that they all had issues. Hold on, I needed to come up. I'm trying to. She said they all had issues, but Sheryl, you pretty much told the stories that the way that it needed to be told as well. Oh, good. And Dahlia
Thank
said
you,
that she just
LaShawn.
got her a copy. She's gonna going to get the Audible as well.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Dahlia.
Dahlia.
Thank you, Dahlia. Let me tell you,
Thank
you are
you,
going to
Dahlia.
enjoy
Mwah.
this story. But before Sheryl share a little snippet with us, I wanted to share this, that one of the things that I also enjoyed about the story, Sheryl and Mama Tony, you can definitely chime in before Sheryl read us a little snippet, is I loved how that even though that this was women's fiction, that Sheryl Lister, like for the Sheryl Lister fans, she stayed true to who she is as a writer, because y'all know she gave us some good music. And she gave us some good food. And of course, those are kind of like staple trademarks or
They
things that
are.
we look for. We look for the good music, we look for the good food. But I loved again that sisterhood between those three individuals, that even though all three of them was going through something in their life and life was life, and they still was there for each other through the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know how you have those sister friends in your life that they know all your drama, your trauma, they know everything, or what have you.
Yeah.
But for them to have each other's back through it all, and to carry out Yvette's wishes. And sure, that was a whole moment in itself when they go over, and Joe, they was like, y'all, she made it happen. She was like, and when they read the letter, she was like, yeah, we went ahead and bought these tickets because we know if we left it up to y'all three, y'all would
Exactly.
still be planning it, what have you. So I love that as well. Mama Sonia, you want
Yeah.
to chime in before and Cheryl, you can definitely speak to that too. Mhm.
Well, it was the same, like I said. She, I think knowing that she wasn't going to be there with them, she needed to leave them a roadmap. She needed to leave them instructions
Mhm.
that she knew that they would follow. And that's what the letters and the voices in the back of her head did to them when they were talking, when they would hear her. And she only spoke to them when they really, really needed to hear something. When she felt like they had gone off, too far. That's when she would speak to them. And
Mhm.
it was she spoke to them just when they needed it, just when they need to hear, and at the right time. And it wasn't long. It was just a matter of you need to do this, or give it a try, whatever. No, it was not a long
Mhm.
soliloquy or
Mhm.
speech. It was just the 2 or 3 words they needed when they needed them. It was almost as if she was still there sitting in a circle with them,
Mhm.
because she pop in, say those words,
Mhm.
and then be gone. And they would all, I think, get what you call a eerie feeling. She might have been talking to you, Angela, but Cheryl and I knew she was there.
Mhm.
When she was talking to Cheryl,
Mhm.
Angela, you and I
Mhm.
knew she was there. When she was talking to me, you and Angela knew she was
Mhm.
there. And that's the way she was with them. She might have only been talking to one, but the other two always felt her presence.
I thank you for saying that, Mama Tony, because that literally was a goal of mine. That even if Yvette wasn't in the story, that she would still be felt throughout the book. And to hear you say that you felt it, it's like
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
goal
And she
accomplished,
was.
because that's
Mhm.
really what I
It,
wanted,
it,
was for, even though she's
Yeah.
not there
Yeah.
physically, that her
mhm.
presence could be still
Yep.
felt, that
She was
she
still
was
sprinkled
still part of that
throughout the
circle.
story, and her presence was known.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
was
Mhm. And even
from
because
the
remember, sometimes
prologue
they would
to
even
the end.
say, "Go ahead, Mama Tony."
I said, and her presence was known
Mhm.
from the prologue when she was introduced. She was introduced and gone in the twinkling of an eye,
Mhm.
but she was there to the very end of the book.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. I love that. I love that. And LaShawn was saying the same thing. She was saying that yes, basically like her presence was known or felt throughout the story as well. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. And I know Mama Tony does as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some funny moments too, like when they went to the was it the twerking class?
Well, that's exactly what I was gonna read. Just a little
Was it the
snippet from
twerking
there.
class or the
Yeah, that's where I'm gonna
I
read the
love it.
snippet from.
I'm giving it to you, Cheryl, so you can kind of talk up what you're gonna read for us.
So you want me to go ahead and read it now?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm just going to do a little introductory. There, you're not going to get the whole class because this is just a snippet. So this is them getting ready for this class that they knew nothing about. They thought it was just a simple little exercise class, but you know how life works. From that was on recommendation from one of Rochelle's coworkers. So here we go. They entered the building and followed the music to a room near the rear. All three women froze in the doorway. I'm going to strangle Summer. I take it she didn't mention this part, Diane said with a hand on her hip. No, she did not. There is no way I'm staying in a twerking class. Hell, if I drop it, it might not come back up, Joey cracked. As people continued to trickle in all over the room, women were in various positions, practicing shaking their butts, and Rochelle stood mesmerized as the woman she figured was the instructor did a move where each isolated cheek bounced up and down, taking on a life of its own. Rochelle was further stunned when the woman went from standing to bent over to squatting and ended in a plank position, all without missing a beat. Damn, Diane whispered. Maybe I should stay and learn a couple of these to spring on Jeff. After he recovered from the heart attack he's sure to have, I'm sure he'd have you naked in a flash, Rochelle said. They laughed. Probably, but it would be worth every second. You probably get the same results if you use this as your workout. Diane made quotation marks in the air instead of lifting those weights. The image popped into Rochelle's mind and sent heat flowing through her. Joy did a little move, trying to imitate the instructor. Ow! I think I pulled something. She rubbed her hip. Welcome, ladies. Is this your first time? The instructor smiled and crossed the room to where they still stood near the door. Yes, Rochelle answered, but great. Come on in and don't worry if you can't do all the moves. Just have fun while getting some cardio work in. She waved them into the room. Rochelle shared her look with Diane and Joy, who both shrugged. They found spots at the back of the room. When I get to work on Monday, I will be talking to Summer. She should have warned me. I can't believe that girl. Well, since we're here now, let's try to make the best of it, Joy said. and try not to break something in the process. Diane Craig, ain't that the truth? So there it is. So you can go and read it and see how the rest of that class turned out and if they actually broke something.
Oh my goodness, that was one of my highlights, y'all. That was one of my highlights in there. I laughed so hard. Of course, there were some escapades as well. So again, this is a well-rounded story. Sometimes there are some heavy moments, but Sheryl does an amazing
Mhm.
job with balancing it all out. It's one of those stories that I will truly say it is a story of all the feels. And before we go, of course, we're gonna allow Sheryl and Mama Tony to share how we can stay connected with them. But first, for Mama Tony, for your last comment, I just want for you to share what did you enjoy about No Reservations overall? Did you
The
hear me, Mama Tony?
entire, yeah, the entire book from beginning to end. Like I
I
said,
guess just kind of like what did you enjoy overall, or what was your main takeaway that you want readers to take away from it?
that this is a book that gives you everything. You get the sadness, you get the happiness, you get the laughter, you get the precocious children who win your heart over. You find four different, the three men, one who has a problem, one who's a butthole, and one who has the patience of Job. But they all come together to make it, and you understand why there are no
Look
reservations.
well. I love that. I love that. And guys, we will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of it. Denise said, okay, Denise, she said, can't wait to read it, ordering her audiobook
Thank
now.
you,
Well, I love that. I
Denise.
love that. I love that. And Sheryl, for you, when readers read this story, No Reservations, what is the takeaway? What do you want them to take away?
I want them to take away uh, the fact that life is not promised. And, we always get stuck in our comfortable little bubbles here, and we're afraid to take those risks. So the first thing is to take the chance to step out there and like I always say it, do it scared. Do it scared. The second thing is to cherish those sisterhood friendships that you have because they are precious and not we don't all get those. So those are some special things, and to nurture those friendships and to keep them going. So, it may be that you don't talk every day or every week, or
Mm-hmm.
you might just hook
Mm-hmm.
up, twice a year, or y'all text, here and there, but you pick up as if nothing had ever happened in between. It's like it just picks up where you are. So that's what I wanted the takeaway to be, is to keep those friendships, keep those sisterhoods, and get out there and take those risks. Do it scared if you have to, but do it.
Mm.
Do it. I love that. Thank you so much, Sheryl, Lister, and Mama Tony. It has been amazing hanging out with you. And Paulette Brown said, so true, Sheryl, so true
Yeah.
as well. Guys, it has been amazing hanging out with Mama Tony and Sheryl Lister, the author of No Reservations. We are super duper excited about that as well. Mama Tony, of course, if you can share with us, how can we stay connected with you, my friend? And what do you have going on next?
Uh, Go to my Facebook page, Mama Tony's Book Nook and Reviews, where you get a book of the day, national days, a thought for the day, and just a lot of fun. The next thing I have going on is I will be, believe it or not, with Sierra London on May the 11th with her latest book, Fake It Till You Make It. That's my
Mm,
next literary event.
okay.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been amazing. joining us today and talking about no reservations. You guys be sure to follow Mama Tony into her morning show, where she gives you the book of the day. She gives you the national day. She do a little reading, and she just give you a little bit of something. What's have a good day on that day as well. And of course, Sheryl Lister, my friend, please share with us how can we stay connected with you and what can we do to support you.
You can find me on Facebook at author Cheryl Lister, or you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok under Cheryl Lister. Website is www.cheryllister.com. And if you want to just drop me a line, you can just send me an email or a message or whatever. Email is cheryllister@gmail.com. And coming up, I have a few things. If I can, life stops lifing, then my goal is to actually, the first thing I'm going to do is actually be finishing up this last Supper Club series book that I'm done. That's, overdue, that I need to finish. And so that's a goal, is to finish that story, the last and final trip to Firefly Lake. And then I will be working on getting those second women's fiction story done. Not related. Sorry,
Look,
guys.
Cheryl, you
It's
know
not
it's
going to
near.
be
You know
related.
it's near.
I know. Perfect there. So there's not going to be a second part to No Reservations. I'm sorry, y'all. That was a one and done, according to the publisher. So it'll be the second women's fiction, will be completely different characters, completely different scenarios. And then my goal is to also finish out my Sassy Season Sister series. So if you don't know, these are four sister friends, more sister friends, y'all, sister friends who are in their 50s and finding love again. So the first two books, Love Sweet Kiss and Love Sweet Surrender, are already out. So Love Sweet Melody is the next one. And if life, like I said, if life stops lifing, you'll see that hopefully sometime in the summer. So, and then the last one too by the year. So busy, busy.
I love that. I love that. And Cheryl, please share with them how they can stay connected with you. And guys, any of these books also that Cheryl has mentioned, you can go and get any of her books. Definitely get a copy of No Reservations as well. And when you do and you finish reading it, definitely leave a review. I know that Cheryl Lister will be so appreciative of that. And not only that, guys, tell a friend to tell a friend. If you are in a book club, No Reservations, any of Cheryl Lister books will be great book club picks, but No Reservation is a great book for your book club to talk. Trust me, to talk about. I think we just graced the surface. Okay, there is so much for book clubs to talk about for No Reservation. So definitely do that as well. So Cheryl, definitely give us your website so they can stay connected with you as well.
Well, I just gave them all that stuff already, so they have that. But if you are in a book club and you do choose No Reservations or any of my books, please be
Okay.
sure to let me know, because if I am available, I love to sit in, to kind of come in and chat with you all on your discussion day by Zoom or whatever. And if you happen to be local to Sacramento and California area here, then I might just roll up. We can just meet up someplace and do it. But I would love to connect with you that way. So let me know.
How exciting is that? I love it. I love it. Well, thank all of you for hanging out with author Cheryl Lister, Mama Tony's Book Nook, talking about No Reservations. If you came later, definitely go back and watch the replay. As Cheryl Lister said, there is a limited time that it may not last past today. If you have not gotten this book, it is available in ebooks where ebooks are sold for $1.99. You can also get print copies of this book where books are sold as well. And you had a couple of people that they are audiobook. So whatever suits your fancy, I definitely get a copy of No Reservations. That's our time on today, guys. We thank you so much for hanging out with us on today, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. And definitely go get a copy of No
Bye. Thank
Reservations.
you.
See you next time.